Hey pen friends, welcome back to another cozy journaling video. Today I'm going to be giving you a tour of my two pencil cases or pen cases or whatever you want to call it that I use to mainly go between whenever I am planning and journaling. So these guys contain my most used supplies that I like to keep on hand when I am writing. This was a request by someone in the comments, and it's kind of funny because I was already thinking of doing this video, and I just hadn't gotten around to it, and the comment was a very good reminder that I should actually sit down and film this. So thank you to whoever recommended this, and I hope that you, as well as everyone else, enjoys this video. I always love seeing what supplies and tools different people have and how it differs based on the kind of journaling and planning that they do and what things they find to be essential. So I hope you like seeing what I have in my pen cases. And yeah, let's just get into it. So the pen cases I want to show to you today are right here. And the reason why I have two pen cases, let me turn this around, is because I like to have a pen case dedicated to the type of writing that I'm doing. And what I mean by that is, to simply put it, this pen case is what I use every day for planning and kind of brainstorming and writing. And this pen case is what I use almost every day for journaling. And for the way that I journal versus plan, I require different tools, and for myself, I just prefer to have the tools on hand that I need for that activity, so that's why I like to separate them. Also, I just really like both of these pen cases and these artifacts that I have from TSL, so I wanted to be able to use both of these, so that's also why I have kind of two pen cases going at the same time. So maybe we will start with the one on the right, and I will put the one on the left back to its usual spot. I feel like it's kind of a breaking the fourth wall situation because I normally keep this always on the left when you see it because I use it as a filming prop as well as a pen case. So love the dual purpose on that, but let's start with this pen case, which is probably the one that I use the most often. So this pen case, it's actually interesting. When I bought it, I used it for a bit and then I kind of put it back, and at one point I was considering selling this, but sometime last year I picked this back up, and once I kind of figured out how I wanted to store my tools, it worked quite beautifully, and I've really enjoyed using this artifact for holding my tools. This is the Superior Labor, I believe it's called the tool belt or the tool case. I'll probably put it on the screen because I'm not the best with names, but this one is in the color brown, and it's really interesting because it has this closure like this when you have the case closed, and then you peel back the leather straps and the lid or the flap here, and then you have your kind of two pockets, I guess you could call them, for tools. So this kind of reminds me in concept of like a case version of a tool belt that you would use when you're kind of working on certain projects. So I think that's kind of fun. For how I normally keep this, I kept it closed so you could see the closed version, but oftentimes I usually have the flap open, and on a tray, I try to keep my journals and my journaling pen cases on trays so that, one, they don't spread everywhere in my house, but two, they're also really easy to transport and move around because I do like to journal everywhere because I am a couch journaler. So the transportation factor is key, but yeah, I do usually keep this open on a tray like this, and this openness element of this pen case is why I love it so much as kind of my main spot for planning, because I can very easily see and access the tools that I use every single day. So in terms of the tools, they're pretty straightforward. I don't think I have anything especially interesting or surprising in here. Maybe that's the right word, surprising. But from right to left, I have a mild liner. This is the mild liner by Zebra. It is part of their more recent neutrals pack, but I think you can buy it on its own. And this is a double-sided highlighter. I use both sides of the highlighter in my bullet journal, and I use the fine tip for marking days on my calendar when I'm busy or have an event. And then lately, I've been actually using the bold end. This is new. I've been using the bold end in my future log insert or kind of annual insert to fill out the tracker at the beginning of the insert. A beautiful discovery on my end a couple weeks ago was that the chisel tip of the mild liner is the exact height of the boxes in the Travelers Company passport insert that I have. So I started using it to fill in the days when I worked out as kind of a yearly tracker. And I've never really done a yearly tracker, but it has been the most fun thing to fill out and see and track my progress. I'm kind of surprised by how much I've been enjoying it, but that is how I've been using this chisel side and then fine side for the calendar. So this is very heavily used in my bullet journal or planner, which is a passport traveler's notebook. And I'm sure I'll include B-roll of what I'm talking about so you don't have to use your imagination. The next two items are pens. These are, and I always get the name wrong, these are Uniball 1F pens. The F is important because I've been told that the regular Uniball 1 actually is different in size, but both of these pens do not have Uniball 1 refills. I just really like the body and design of these pens and the writing experience. So what I do is I keep the body, but I always put my personal favorite refill in here, which is a gel pen refill by Sarasa, and it is the Sarasa Vintage Brown Gray ink in 0.5. I think I've been using this gel refill since 2021, so it's been over 4 years now, which is kind of wild to think about. But anyway, I usually write with this green one, but I also have this beige one on hand in the ever so likely scenario that tends to happen with me, which is I leave my pen in one of my books and I don't put it back in the pen case, and then I go to grab my pen from the pen case and I don't see it to write something down, and then it's nice to have an extra. I can just pull this one out and use it instead, and then at a later date track down my other pen when I have the time and inclination. So essentially two of the same pen here, just different colors. And then I have my pencil. This is also kind of a more expensive product, but I've also had this for I think 3 years now, and it is my pride and joy. It is the Travelers Company brass pencil, and you can see the eraser is kind of starting to get worn because I do use the eraser on this as well. I think it's great. The pencil is awesome because it's incredibly compact, so you pull out the pencil and then put it back on itself to use it as a writing instrument, which I really like. I think this is a great pencil for using in your planner or journal, but I also really like this whenever I'm doing a project where I need a pencil to either mark something on a material or write something out because it has a clip, so it's kind of easy to keep on you and not lose in the shuffle. I also do like how it's really compact because the depth of this pocket isn't super tall, as you can see, so something like this fits really easily in this type of pen case. And in case you're curious, this type of case doesn't fit tall instruments very well from what I've seen. It fits a mild liner quite comfortably and you can still close it, but I would say that's kind of the max in terms of height that you're going to fit in here, which actually is a good segue into my last item, which is my ruler. So I took a while before I invested in a brass ruler just because I have been a long-term fan of my Muji ruler, which I've had since university. But with this pen case, I found that my Muji ruler didn't fit, which was kind of a bummer. So I decided to get a brass ruler because I did want to carry something in here, and I've always been curious about brass products. So what I did was I purchased this one. This is from Amazon. It's not the Traveler's Notebook ruler. I didn't buy that one because it's too tall for this case, and the key requirement was that it would fit in the case. So this one is from Amazon. I really like it. I discovered upon buying brass rulers that because it's metal, it tends to draw a bit of a sharper line, which is really nice because I often use this in my bullet journal to draw dividing lines, make my calendars, things like that. So this has been a really great ruler for that, and I've really enjoyed it. I tied some string on it. This is from a tag off of a sweater, just because, I don't know, I think it looks cool. It's not really functional, but I kind of like how it looks. And then the final thing are my scissors. So I have these actually tucked into the front pocket. This is the only thing in the front pocket. These are my favorite scissors ever. They are from Muji. I love how they are so small, so compact, and they come with this really handy case that these scissors slip into so that they're protected, which I think is nice, especially with a beautiful leather case like this. I would probably be a little nervous slipping metal scissors into it without protection. So it's kind of nice how it's, you know, protected and in its own container. And these are just slipped in here. I never think I need scissors, but then life always surprises me with situations where I actually do require them. So these are something I use for planning. If there's something I need to trim, if there's washi tape I need to trim, because I'll use that on my calendars. I do also use these for journaling. They're a bit of an overflow item, if you will. I would say the scissors, the ruler, the pencil, and the pens are overflows. I do use those for journaling as well as planning, but yeah, the scissors go in here, and that is kind of all we have in this case. So very much what I would consider the bare bone essentials for kind of daily planning, scheming, bullet journaling, all that kind of stuff. All right, so I'm gonna slide this over here. I'll just contain the string. And let's bring out the next thing. So here, I'll zip it up so you can see how it would normally look. I usually keep it unzipped, but this is also a Superior Labor product. This is the Superior Labor utility case, which is a very beautiful product. It's also not necessarily meant to be a pen case. You could use this for toiletries. You could use this for electronics. It is very multi-purpose. It's not really just for stationery, although that's how I tend to use it. I have had this pen case for 2 years, I think. I think I bought it in 2022, and I've really loved this case. It's just such a nice functional layout for me. I also just love the design of it. That's why I always like to put it in my videos, because I just genuinely love the look of this. And the leather, of course, is beautiful. If I open it, you can see the layout, which is essentially a zip pocket on the left and a slip pocket on the right. And there is this piece of fabric that goes over the slip pocket. I just have tucked this into the pocket because I don't really feel the need to kind of cover and protect my pen tools, because I don't really have any that I wouldn't be upset about scratching, I guess. So that's what is over here. I will start with the right side. So the right side, I would say it's less journaling supplies and more overflow items. So this is kind of like a journaling plus some extra things that I maybe don't use daily, but again, I like to keep kind of on hand and together. So I have some pens here that I am not using at the moment, but I have used quite a lot in the past. So things like, I have this metal pen by Pentel, which I quite like. I have a Sarasa Grand. This is actually what the metal body looks like for the pen refill that I actually use. I have a Energel pen. I have some mild liners. This one I've used in the past in my bullet journal. I might go back to it. I don't know if I want to stick with the tan. Kind of depends on my mood. And then I have the gray, which I always like to have on hand because it's just helpful. Useful highlighter. I have a click eraser. This is by Pentel, which I really like. I sometimes will use this if I have a lot of stuff I need to erase and I want precision. And then I do, of course, have my Muji ruler in here. This is still very helpful for drawing longer lines because it opens and closes on itself. So it's a full-length ruler when it's opened, which is really nice. So I do like to keep this for situations where I have a long line to draw. And then I do have a clip here because oftentimes when I'm journaling, I kind of need something to help hold the pages open. So this is helpful for that. The zip pocket has probably the main journaling and overflow supplies that I tend to use. So this includes adhesive products. So I tend to stick a lot of things in my journals. I sometimes stick things in my planners, but it's less frequent, which is why I don't feel the need to keep it on hand all the time. But I have a glue tape for that, as well as actual glue, because sometimes certain things don't work well with adhesive tape. My favorite glue tape is by Elmer's. This one is the Permanent Craft Bond adhesive tape. And the reason why I love it so much is it is the only adhesive tape I've seen, or the one that's at least most accessible to me in Canada, that has clear tape adhesive. It's not blue like the Tombow ones. And the reason I don't like the Tombow ones is because I find on thinner paper the blue color can show through on the other side, which I don't really like. So I love how this one is clear, so there's no color transfer onto the other pages. Ooh. And then for glue, I currently have this Kikuyo permanent glue, which honestly, my favorite part about this glue is how it smells. It kind of smells like baby powder. The glue itself is fine. I find in general glue is not as effective as adhesive tape. I do like how it has like square corners and stuff like that, but I do find sometimes the glue strength is not the best on this one. So, you know, not too bad, but it is small and compact, which is really nice for this pen case. But, you know, this is the glue that I have, so we continue to use it. Sometimes I have washi tape in here. This washi tape is what I often use in my journals to tape things in. It's also actually the same washi tape I use in my planners, you know, occasionally when I need to mark a date in my calendar. These are the slim washi tapes by Yohaku, and they are my favorite of the washi tapes. So sometimes I keep these in here as well. And then, let's see, a actual eraser for, you know, actual erasing in case I need to erase a lot of stuff. I have some sticky notes. These are just blank ones by Muji in case I need to write something down. Sometimes I'll write down what kind of entry or thing I want to write about in my journal and stick it on the page, so this is good for that. I have a extra set of book darts, which is my favorite way to mark different pages, so I like to keep these here as well. I use these for both journaling and planning, but they're just something I like to keep on hand. I have more Midori index clips, which are like the book darts, but another type of clip I like to use a lot. I just have these on a old pastry bag. It's a dog holding a croissant, so can't really get better than that. And then, let's see. Yes, well, I guess that is everything. So all of this just goes back in here. Upon reflection, although I do use this for journaling and this more for planning, I think if I could re-categorize them again after looking through them, I think I would actually call this more the everyday essentials, or like the super go-to items. And then these are the items that I do also use fairly frequently, but not every day, that I need on hand all the time. So this is kind of the less frequent, but still needed every week. And this is the definitely need every day, or the struggle will be real and the plans will not be happening. So yeah, that is kind of it in terms of what's in my pen cases. So I will list out everything in description in case you're curious about some of the supplies I use. But yeah, nothing crazy in here, just some pens, some pencils, scissors, washi tape, glue, random clips, all that good stuff. And I hope you enjoyed seeing what I keep in my pen cases. I hope it was interesting. Maybe let me know below what your essential pen case items are, because I know personally I'm always looking for useful stationery tools to add into these. One example actually of something that's on my list that I've yet to find, because it's really hard to find for some reason, is the MD washi tape cutter. It's this contraption you put the tape in and then it cuts it for you, and it's very clean in terms of the cut, which is really nice. So that's something on my list that I have yet to attain, but we keep searching. So maybe let me know something that you really like using and I can add it to my list. But anyway, that was the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it again. And besides that, I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you next time for another journaling chat. Bye, everybody.